Hi, my name is Cecilia.Gifford, and if you don't know about what happened, go check out the video before. Where I left off was where he was complaining about his ex and um, hitting on his old ex and how we got into an argument about it. The next year, he ended up going back to Michigan. We had a Christmas date. I thought the relationship was going good again. I was having a great time. Then the end of the school year came around, end of sophomore year. I start working at this new place, which was an Italian place, and I loved it. I had a lot of good friends there, and I had a friend there who I'll say is C. He was a close friend of mine that I had been with since first grade, and I'm just gonna say no one person is innocent in a relationship. I'm not saying I cheated. I didn't, but C got close to me, and I got close to C during a time when me and E were broken up, because we broke up on and off. And how we first ever broke up together, broke up with each other, was when I took a break from Fazoli's, which is where I worked. It was an Italian fast food place, and I went across the street over to a Subway that was open up, and I was eating there, and I was getting me something to eat, and one of the girls who was working there looked at me and went, hey, Cecilia, what's up? And I'm like, hey, what's up? And she started asking me, how I was doing, and I said, oh, I'm doing great. Me and E are doing great. And she went, you and E? And I'm like, yeah, we're doing great. And then she's like, I have a question. And I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And she said, were you and E together last summer? My heart dropped. I was so scared about what the response was going to be when I said yes. I said, yeah, we were together last summer. We were together the whole summer. And she said, that's what I was afraid of. So then she ended up taking a break just to come talk to me. And the girls who do this, the girls who go and look for the girl who's getting cheated on and tells them, y'all are amazing. Love y'all. Y'all do great. Mwah. Best girls in the world. I've done that. I've told people when they've been cheated on. It's a horrible feeling, and I feel like people deserve to know. Well, she sits me down. She shows me text messages between her and E, where E was trying to ask her out, trying to go on dates with her, trying to invite her over, and she kept denying him. This girl is now married, happily. She has a kid on the way. They're doing great. Her and the guy she's with are amazing. I'm messing my hair up. I'm so sorry. And she shows me the messages where he's trying to invite her over, and I asked her what happened before this, and she said that his ex that I told you about before, and another one of his exes before went to a swimming pool together, where him, T, and all those exes, which one of those exes causes a lot of issues this year. I'm going to call her K. K was crazy. She not only went after me, but she went after my whole family. Made up a lot of rumors about them that was horrible. And that happens after this. Well, I get so upset with him. I immediately call him. I'm like, did you seriously attempt to cheat on me with R, which I'm the Subway girl. I'm just going to call her a Subway girl. She doesn't come back up in this conversation. And I'm like, did you seriously cheat on me or try to cheat on me with Subway girl? And he denies it. And then I say, I just saw the evidence. I saw the text messages. I saw the proof. There's no way he can gaslight me. I'm the same color as my bed. And he denies it. He tries to manipulate me, tries to tell me that it's not what it seems like, and then he makes up this lie saying that T had gotten him drunk and high, and that he wasn't in his right mind and that T was basically forcing him to try and cheat on me. And T admits to it and apologizes to me, which he apologized also to me for hitting on me that one time. And so I'm super mad at T. I don't want to talk to T. Like, that, it shouldn't have happened, you know? He should have been a better friend. And so T admits to it all. I'm still kind of suspicious about it. And we take a break. And during that break, E gets closer to K. And I find out this from Subway Girl. And me and E ended up getting back together, which was a horrible mistake. I already know a bunch of y'all telling me it was a mistake. I know it was. I had so many people tell me it was a mistake. It really was. I don't know what I was thinking. Young love. It's dumb. So him and Kay start hanging out more, and Kay doesn't know that she's friends with my cousin, who I'm going to call Kin. That's funny. She's kidding me, Kin. Yeah. And so Kay starts complaining to Kin about me, saying that I'm ugly, that there's no way that E would want to be with me after everything, that Kay would be better for E, and that he could do so much better, that I was dumb, that I was horrible. I'm not dumb. That is the one thing I will take pride in myself for. I am very smart. I got my way into college by myself, still struggling just a little bit, but I went through high school all honors, so I'm not dumb. I'm dumb when it comes to common sense, but not dumb when it comes to books. So Kay keeps complaining. She keeps talking about how she just keeps complaining. And so then Kin gets into a fight with Kay about it and says, you have no reason to be talking about my cousin like that. You need to back off. Don't ever come near me again. We're not friends anymore. That is how family's supposed to be. If someone's talking trash about your family, you defend them. That comes with friends as well. Don't be a backstabbing friend. Defend your friends. Defend your family. We need trust. We need loyalty. Loyalty is missing in this world. And so then Kay decides, with E knowing, to start making up rumors about me and my family, saying that we're drug dealers and that my grandparents, who were going through a hard time at that time, were drug dealers, and that they were hiding everything in their barn, and the cops were almost called on them. They didn't find anything. Like, there's no reason for that to happen. And then E finally cut off Kay, or at least I'm assuming they did. I have no idea. She might have been one of the people that he cheated on me with. And blocks her. I watch him do it. Up until the end of our relationship, I didn't know if they were hanging out. I didn't see them. No one told me that they were. But the whole rumor spreading and getting my family into serious trouble was something that he did defend me on, which caused me to really get back with him. Sorry, my camera quality is horrible. So he ends up, me and E get better, where I forget about the whole Subway Girl incident, and then the summer rolls around, and he is living with T at the moment, and he's hanging out at T's house. He's living there basically for the summer until he goes back to Michigan. Well, during the summer, T's little sister, who I'm going to call Lee, invited this guy named Isaac, who had a crush on E during our high school. And I knew about it because Isaac told me. Well, Isaac is spending the night. I'm a little suspicious because of what happened with Subway Girl. I'm worried something's going to happen. And so the next day after the sleepover, E comes to our D&D match, which I'm a D&D nerd. I still play it to this day in college. I have a D&D match tonight. I have a D&D session tonight where we're having a match with someone. And E has a hoodie on. This is good context. I remember this. And when we finally beat one of the bosses, he raised his arms up like this, and his shirt went up, and I could see 2 hearts drawn on his bone, like on his pelvic bones, pointed down towards his area. And they didn't look like they could have been drawn by him. They looked like they had to be drawn by someone else. I confront him about it. I'm like, what are these hearts drawn on your pelvic bones pointed like that? Like, what is this? And then he reveals to me drawings all over his body and back. And I asked him who did that. And he says that Lee did that. But for context, Lee is a very shy person who just and is not one for intimate, like, touching anyone or hugs and anything. There's, like, limited things that Lee's okay with. And T knows this. And then E first tries to tell me in the car while I'm driving him back to T's house. He tells me that he drew the hearts himself, that Lee did all the other stuff on him, and that he couldn't have done that he did the hearts. But the thing is, I go to college. I'm going for mass communications and French, and my best friend, who's my roommate, goes for art. And I even draw. I do a lot of art. There's no way in this godforsaken world that he drew those hearts on himself. They were too perfect and they were too well done. If I had done that, even with me having a steady hand, I would not have been able to do them the way that they had been done. You can tell by the line work. You can tell by how they were drawn. And so then, once we get to the house and everything, I feel bad because I feel like I was putting too much on him, that I was being too jealous and everything. And he says it's okay. He kisses me, and he says he forgives me for thinking that someone else did it, and that it's all fine, and that he loves me, blah, blah, blah. And I feel guilty. I feel horrible that I had this whole argument with him and I believed him that he had done it himself by the end, because I was like, there's no way to argue with him. I feel bad. Maybe I'm in the wrong. This moment still makes me mad. As soon as he opens the car door to leave my car, he admits to me that T drew them. That he didn't draw them, but T drew them. After having a whole argument with me and gaslighting me about him drawing them, trying to convince me that he drew them. What the heck? That is gaslighting 101. And then he put all the blame on me and forgave me for thinking that someone else did when I was right. That is horrible. I'm just now realizing that's horrible. Well, move on. The next day at school, I go to school with Lee. She's in like a lower class than me. It's like junior year. I go up to Lee and I'm like, hey, did you draw all of this stuff on E and everything? And Lee said yes, and I was like, thank you for talking to me. How's your day? And we had a simple conversation with that, and I said I just needed to hear her say it so that way I would feel better and like I wouldn't be overthinking. And she said she understood. Well, her friend A, who I'm friends with now, like we're still in contact and we're good, she saw it from a distance and overreacted about it and told E and T the next day once they got back to their house that I had interrogated Lee and that I had asked her a bunch of questions that I didn't need to ask, and A was having a whole moment about it. And then E calls me, and I'm on my way home with my sister in the seat next to me. I'm pretty sure she's not going to care if I say her name. Stephanie. If you get on any of my, like, Insta and all that, it's up. I have a sister named Stephanie. Stephanie is sat next to me, and we're just going home. Like, we're going to our grandparents, going to go see them after school. I get a call from E, and I answer it, and he immediately blows up at me saying, "How could you interrogate Lee? You yelled at her. You had no reason to do this. And blah, blah, blah. I can't believe you do this. You don't trust me. You're horrible. Blah, blah, blah." Yelled at me. I was crying in my car. He was just full on yelling at me. And my sister, Stephanie, yelled at him back and said, "You have no reason to talk to her like that. She didn't interrogate Lee. She asked Lee questions and had a conversation with her. You have no reason to be doing this." And he's like, "Well, A says differently. They just came in and told us everything." Lee hadn't spoke to them, I found out. Lee hadn't talked to them yet about any of what happened. And so I hang up and I'm just like crying. I get to my grandparents' house and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, that was horrible. He's never been like that. Which ended up becoming a pattern where he started having anger issues and would take out a lot of it on me. There were times where, and this is a trigger warning for people who have been in abusive relationships, he would shake me around. He would grab me by my shoulders if he was angry at me, and he would shake me around. He would yell at me. He would be verbally abusive, and it was bad. And sometimes he would throw things or hit things around me when he was mad at me. And so this is the first time it ever happened, and it became a pattern afterwards. I end up going to my grandparents' house. I'm crying to my grandpa about it. I'm like devastated. And then he finally calls me and he says, "Lee just talked to us and told us that you didn't interrogate her, that A had thought it, but A was wrong." And he tried to apologize to me, and then I told him he had no right to talk to me like that I felt like I was walking on eggshells with him, that I was scared that he was going to do something again like that. I'm so glad I had my phone on speakerphone at that moment, because then he started saying that I was doing the same thing to him, that I was horrible, that I was manipulative, that he felt like he had to walk on eggshells with me because he had no idea when I was going to be emotional and sensitive, that I overthought, that I would nag him and complain, and he just turned it all on me like I was the one at fault. My grandpa ended up taking the phone from me because he overheard it in the room and started having a conversation with E. But during that time, I was sitting there thinking in the room that I had at my grandparents' house, and I started thinking about everything E said. And this is the first time that we broke up. This was the first out of the 3 times. He was horrible. I'm in a happier relationship now. As you can tell from some of the photos on my wall, this guy is an amazing guy who treats me way better. This story does have a happy ending. Sadly to say, I feel like I've gone over time with this year 2, so I'm just going to say this is part 1 for year 2, because more happens after this. A lot more. And then we get into the final bits of year 3, of the craziest moments and when he became really abusive. Thank y'all for being with me this long. I know it's a crazy story. It gets crazier from here. I will put a trigger warning in this video at the description for that moment, and I will give a set time for when you want to skip it, for when I talk about how he was and the things he did. Thank y'all for watching. This actually feels kind of therapeutic to be getting all this out here, sharing it. I've kept a lot of this in about how he treated me. Some of my friends don't even know everything. And I'm actually feeling much happier now talking about it. But if you want to subscribe and listen to more stories and hear about this whole crazy story that goes on, please tell me. Please like, subscribe, comment, share it, react to it, make videos about it. And honestly, if you're going through a problem like this where someone is being abusive in any way, mentally, physically, verbally, please reach out to someone. This can do irreparable damage on not only your body and your mind, but on your self-confidence, on your self-worth, on how you view yourself. So please, I beg you, don't hold it in. I went through so much crap with this guy, and I thought that I was so lowly and that I wasn't worth anything because of this guy. He made me feel like I can't get into another relationship with anyone else. I felt like dog crap, but I know that I'm worth it. I know that I didn't deserve to be treated like that, and neither do you. So I'm going to put one of those women's phone numbers down below for if you are in that situation, or if you're out of a situation, you feel like going back, because it's so easy to go back to someone like that. Please reach out to someone. Even if it's someone you don't know, reach out to someone. Family, friends, anything. And if your family's the one who's being abusive, reach out to friends. Reach out to someone you can trust. No one deserves to be treated like that. And if you see someone getting treated like that, stand up, say something, talk to that person, because maybe in their head, they don't see it. They need someone else to talk about it. This got really serious. Usually these stories... But it's a serious thing when someone goes through a serious issue like that. Being abused, hurt, or talked down to, or manipulated. If you're a friend or a family member and you see someone going through it, speak up. And if you feel like you need to intervene, even if that person is going to hate you and say that you had no right to do that, do it. If it's getting into it, because it will become dangerous. I've been hit before by a guy. I've been treated horribly by a guy. It can get so dangerous to where your life is on the line. Don't let it get to that point. If you're in need and if you want to talk to someone, I'm opening up my DMs. If you need someone to talk to, and if you relate to the video, please just reach out to me. And I won't talk to anyone about it. I won't say anything. I won't post it on here. If you need a safe space, I'm willing to do that safe space for you. Thank you. Y'all have a nice day. Stay safe out there. Thank you for watching.